Hi, I'm Mark Gibbs with The Great Outdoors, and if this is your first time with us, welcome aboard. If you're coming back to see us again, I'm happy to see you again too. Well, today we are going to look at something fun here. I love Tillandsias. It's really an easy project to play with, and so I thought we would try looking at some pieces of bark. We sell these in some different sizes of bags, but these pieces of bark are all just unique. And I just had a thought the other day how pretty it might be to mount some Tillandsias on these and give it a little bit of character and flair. And then again, you can use them as a tabletop or you can use it on the wall to hang up. Vertical, horizontal, it's just all up to you. It's inexpensive. Tillandsias really don't cost that much. There are all sorts of flavor. This is a beautiful little clumping form that we've already mounted. The Junkia, which has been enhanced here. And then we have a beautiful Abdita, that's the natural color of the plant. Tillandsias, there's just hundreds you can look at, and they're all very cost effective. Between the bark and adding a little bit of moss and a few Tillandsias, it's a great project. The only other thing you need is a glue gun. We're using cold glue sticks, sort of that oxymoron out there, but they dry a lot faster and they're not as hot to touch. So if you do get a drip on you or you're working with the kids and they get a little bit of a drip, it's not as scaldy as the old-timey glue out there. Plus, it's a little less intense on the plants themselves. You're not using a ton of the glue when you are doing it. You're just tapping it with the dot of glue, but it is a little safer to use the cold form. And when we tap these, you can see they all have a little bit of a woody base to them, except for the Usinoides. Most of these guys are going to have some sort of woody juncture at the very base. So that's where we're tapping at. We don't want to put it on any of the leaves. We want to try to avoid that, but anywhere along the base of this root system where the roots would come out is a safe spot. So as you can see, one of the things we have here going on, we use that little poem. You want a thriller, a chiller, and a spiller. So a thriller is something a little bit taller. Chiller is going to be something that stays in the very middle and just fills out that section. And a spiller, this little clumping ionantha, is going to be really cool. It's going to continue to have babies and sort of fall over the side of this bark. So it can be used in multiple ways. I sort of envision this one being on a wall like that. So our spiller may come down or it may eat up over the top. It can be a tabletop piece, whatever you want. Beautiful, inexpensive, and very creative way to keep the juices going and see how far you can push yourself on the designs you come up with. So this next piece I was looking at had a nice little knot hole on the end. I've already taken some of the clumping preserved moss. This is mood moss in the clumping form. I've glued that into the tip and I put a little Valentina Tillandsia on top of that guy. So that's going to be my chiller. And on this one, I'm using a super beautiful thick form of Usinoides. These come in multiple forms. The fine form is just a microscopic, fine green texture, beautiful fine. This is the thick form Usinoides. So I'm using this one as my real anchor plant. And then I've got a beautiful Xerographica. These come in multiple sizes as well. This is a little baby one, but you can see how the leaves come and turn and spin out here. One of the things with Tillandsia is you're going to be thinking about placement on this. Placement's going to matter when it comes to watering them. When I water Tillandsias, I prefer to hold them upside down or sideways. And then this is a misting sprayer. And I like to just spin the plant in the mist itself. And you can actually see the color has changed on those leaf blades. If you've got a dry spot on any of your leaf blades when you're done watering, it's going to show. And then you just need to hit that area. These don't have to be drip soaking wet. Some people give them a bath. If you're going to do that, put it in upside down, take it out upside down. We don't want that moisture sitting on the crown. There's a pretty thick cuticle down here and it's not going to evaporate well, and those are going to suffocate and rot and fall off. So you kind of want to avoid that. So the other thing I always do is I always shake them off, and then in between time, this Sunday's usually their really good spray day, and then in between time we'll come through and do the tips. Air conditioning, heating, parched air. If you've got ceiling fans, vents going, try not to put them right near those. It's going to parch them really fast. They do love bathrooms. They do love sink areas. They do love near the dishwasher, anywhere you've got some extra steam or humidity. They're going to love it. They can take it outdoors here, but you want to bring them in toward the end of October, going into November. They're not going to like those deeper night chills, and especially when we get that moisture and the rain, if they're too exposed, they're going to rot pretty fast. So try to protect them from that under cover and inside. So back to my Xerographica, my Usinoides. I've got my clumping mood moss already set in here. I mounted our Valentina on top of that. I'm going to give it another little anchor here. And again, I'm just doing a dot of glue. This is literally just a microscopic dot of glue that I put in that little tip there. That's just to keep it holding on, depending on which way we may mount this, where you want to put it. You just want to make sure that's secure enough and not going to wiggle off there. The reason I was bringing up the misting again is you want these secure enough so when you go to mist it, you can turn it multiple directions, get the moisture all around on those leaf blades, and you want them to be secure when you do that so they're not falling off and taking any injury to the leaves themselves. Another good way to tell when a Tillandsia is getting parchy is it'll feel like paper. If it doesn't feel like your skin nice and soft and supple, then you know it's getting parchy and you need to give it a little bit of a mist. So I was playing with this earlier, and I think what we're going to do is take our beautiful Xerographica and we're going to mount him on the end of our piece of bark here. So I'm going to give it a good tap with some glue right on the base here. And on this one, he's got a little bit bigger of a base, so I'm going to be pretty full on with that glue there. And again, this will dry fairly rapid. So I'm just going to hold him where his larger fronds are already coming over the end there. And then our Usinoides, I was playing with this earlier. This is going to be a personal preference. You could put the Usinoides over by the Valentina. I'm sort of doing the monochromatic thing where I'm going to put him over here with our Xerographica. Kind of make it look like they're holding hands. Now on this guy, there is a little piece of wire that they come already clumped with. You can keep that wire on there and just mount the wire to your piece of bark. That way if you want portability with this or you want to exchange it, it's just a convenient way to do it. That's what I'm going to be doing, is I'm going to wrap this around the back side of my bark here, and I'm just going to hot glue the wire to the back side of the bark. It's going to pop off of there very easy, or if I need to, I can just cut it off. Just going to make a little dot with some glue. Twist that guy up into the glue. Hold it down on each side for a minute. And then in a second, we're going to grab another piece of the mood moss. There is reindeer moss, which is really awesome. It looks like little sponges. The nice thing with the reindeer moss or the mood moss, you can also mist that. It sort of creates a little faux humid zone around the plant itself, keeps some moisture around it, lets it feel a little bit more at home. And where these grow in nature, they're already growing on trees. They're already growing on bark. So they should really enjoy being in this atmosphere. And the other fun thing you can do in the long term is, if you want to extend this feature, you can see easily here, I could come up with another piece of bark and mount that piece of bark and just keep right on going with the feature. I could add a third piece, I could add a fourth piece, I could make my initials, I could make TGO. But we've had quite a few guests who've been very successful with this, so I really appreciate their input. And if you would like us to help you out, please get with our social media sites. We will be offering some workshops soon, and this will be one of them for sure. And then also, if you have any questions, reach out to us through social media. I hope you enjoyed the tips, and I hope to see you again here at the nursery. Again, come and see us as soon as you can.